Evening, everyone. It's 5:30 on Thursday evening, and this is your closing comment video number 1065. Okay, so it was a pretty horrendous day today, and I'm not going to go into all of it, but I will tell you we had a bunch of numbers this morning. Some were good, some were bad. They didn't really overwhelm the market one way or the other, but I will say in this morning's video, I was discussing the fact that the Dow was actually up about 330 even after the numbers came out. NASDAQ was up about 100, and the S&P had been up 43 and was only up 39 before the open. So when they opened the market, they did take it up about 260 in the Dow, but the NASDAQ was never particularly positive. The S&P, which had been up, as I said, as much as 43, could only manage to get up 22. And the bottom line on these was the Dow was down about $30 or 0.8%, but closed almost 300 off the high. The NASDAQ was down 385. That's bigger than yesterday's move up slightly. It was down over 400 during the day. The S&P closed down 41 and change, 0.9%. The Russell, the small caps, got pounded again, down 42.75 or just under 2%, and the transports were down 102 or 0.64. Those will turn up first thing in the morning because FedEx is substantially higher tonight after the earnings. The VIX closed 2057, up $1.28, which is not bad. It was not. It didn't come back to the same level that it was the day before at 1929 plus 260, so at 2189. So it only made up about half of that. So there is still a bit of complacency about it. Okay, so all of the numbers, I'm not going to go through them all, but claims was pretty decent. First-time claims were 206,000, up 18,000, but continuing claims were 1,845,000, and that was down 154, so not bad. Okay, the biggest damage was in the FANG and other mega cap stocks. Adobe, 566.09, down 64.24, or over 10%. Apple, which earlier this week traded 182.13, got up to 181.14 today, and then collapsed. Got down as low as 170.75, closed 172.26, down 704 or 3.9%. To give you an idea, in the Dow stocks that are also mega cap, the losses were Apple down 47, Microsoft down 64 Dow points, and CRM, Salesforce, down 45. Home Depot down 54. So right there you have almost $200 worth of down Dow points, over $200, and the Dow was only down $29. So that gives you an idea. The Dow was actually 18 up, 12 down, and the biggest gainers were Goldman Sachs adding 49 Dow points, and Travelers adding 24. So not horrendous. RIVN had earnings after the close. The stock had traded as high as 117 this morning, closed 108 and change, down 613. Has since traded down to 102. Last is 103.75, down 11.25 or 9.75%. General Motors had some news right after the close, actually a little while ago. It had traded as high as 60 today and was up at the close. And then Dan Ammann, who was the head of Cruise Autonomous and was thought to possibly be a candidate to be CEO there, is leaving. Not only is he leaving, they haven't said why, but he's leaving immediately. So there's a question there. And this brings up the same question that I've asked repeatedly, and that is, all of these guys who want to compete with Tesla, there are lots of little mistakes and issues that pop up when you're, starting something new, certainly in size. And so RIVN has all of that business with Amazon for delivery trucks. Let's see if they can actually get to scale and be sending that out. Also, AFRM. Now, AFRM. This stock was a high of 176.75 and a recent low today of 92. The last on it is 97, and that's down 13.98 or about 12%. All of a sudden, buy now, pay later doesn't look so great when people buy now and don't pay later, and they have the merchandise. This is definitely one of those areas where I've spoken about overreach, where they reach for performance by lowering credit standards. Buy now, pay later is clearly that, and it wouldn't surprise me to see it much lower. Okay, chart on the screen is the oil, and it was up again today. I would be using a stop underneath today's underneath today's low, which was 71.03. So I'd use, a 69.95 stop to see if it broke back to the downside, but it clearly has broken back to the upside. And as I mentioned this morning, one of the issues was the 5 and 20 day MA. And it looked like it might be rolling over this morning, and yet it turned back to the upside and looks like if it were to open even unchanged, it would cross up through the 20. And that would be pretty healthy. We had the MACD turn up. We got a little stronger today. We stayed solidly above the 200-day moving average once we went back through it after we had the big sell-off. So I'm pretty comfortable with that. The other one I want to show you was the gold, which had a monster of a day of almost $34 an ounce. After holding that 1760 on the close, it did get down as low as 1753 yesterday, but it closed at 1765, 1764 and high change. And this morning gapped to the upside and went straight through. So I'm thinking that this area at 1812 to 1820 is going to be a tough area, but it looks like it's really going to try and put on a show. Again, MACD about to cross to the upside. All right, folks, today was the abject lesson in it's never different. And the fact of the matter is, when the Fed gets behind the ball, which is clearly where they've been, and they have to rush to make up for lost time, I think that that's what the market's telling you. The market's telling you that a great deal of that high growth stuff in the marketplace, good as the names are, will suffer from higher interest rates. And you'll start to see, you've probably already started to see a little bit of a move towards value, natural resources, commodities, and such. And that's kind of where I want to be. I'll be back in the morning. There's no economic news tomorrow.